Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You are all the reasons why this channel keeps going. Thank you. Join the Legion today at patreon.com/63rdlegion for free and help decide next week's new character, and paid supporters receive early access to all my content. Today, we're bringing to life the demigod prince of Edenia, Rain. Born to the Edenian god Argus and a mortal woman, Rain is a force of nature with the ability to control storms and water. His complete control over water is incredibly scary once you realize how much water is not only on our planet, but also within a living body. This fear is completely worth having when in MK1, Rain's ending reveals he destroyed an entire city with little effort. Seriously, no need for any more backstory. He's a demigod that controls water and he's a ninja. It's awesome. I don't care if his name is a joke on a horrible Prince song. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook and Monsters of the Multiverse. We're using standard point array to keep things simple, and we are multi-classing, so watch those stat minimums should you use another system. Make Dex 15, Wisdom 14, Strength 13, Con 12, Intelligence 10, and we're going to drop Charisma with an 8. You have a huge chip on your shoulder, and you make that everyone else's problem. Rain is a half-god with elemental powers. Water Genasi from Monsters of the Multiverse is a half-elemental being. Place +2 into Wisdom and +1 into Dex. You have a swimming speed equal to your walking speed. Acid Resistance gives you resistance to acid damage. Dark Vision lets you see in dim light as if it's bright light, and darkness as if it's dim light out to 60 feet. Amphibious allows you to breathe in water and air. Call to the Wave grants you the cantrip Acid Splash. This lets you throw a bubble of acid at one creature within 60 feet, or two creatures that are standing within 5 feet of each other out to 60 feet. The target must make a dex save or take 1d6 acid damage. We'll be using your Wisdom as your spellcasting modifier for the DC. You'll get a few more abilities from this feature later. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and one other of your choice. I take Primordial as it is the elemental language. For background, we need the skills Stealth and Arcana. You gain 2 more proficiencies from tools and or languages, but we never really see what you can do. So I would grab the Celestial language and something else. Level 1 monks start off with 2 skills. Take Acrobatics and Athletics. You are proficient with simple melee weapons, short swords, one artisan tool or musical instrument of your choice, and the saving throws Strength and Dex. Unarmored Defense grants you an AC of 10 plus Dex plus Wisdom when not wearing armor or wielding a shield. Martial Arts improves your unarmed strikes and monk weapons when not wearing armor. Monk weapons are simple melee weapons and short swords that lack the heavy or two-handed properties. When not wearing armor, your unarmed strikes and monk weapons can now be dex-based. They will deal martial arts dice in damage, and you can make an unarmed strike as a bonus action after taking the attack action. Just so you know, with the new addition, a few things are going to change. First off, that attack with a bonus action will just become an attack with a bonus action and not an attack with a bonus action after taking the attack action. And while your martial arts dice start off at a D4 now, that's going to change to a D6. Level 1 Druids gain bonus proficiencies that you will never use. You are now proficient in light armor, medium armor, and shields. You don't want to use any of that. Druidic is a special language that only Druids can speak. You can even use this to leave a magical hidden message for other Druids to see. People can find this message with a DC 15 perception check, but can't understand it unless they are Druids. Spellcasting gives you the ability to cast spells. At the end of a long rest, you can prepare a total number of spells equal to your Druid level plus Wisdom modifier from the Druid spell list. You're going to start off with 2 cantrips and 4 first level spells. For your spells, Shape Water allows you to shape and control water that can fit within a 5-foot cube for up to 1 hour. With this, you can move or change the flow of water up to 5 feet, create simple shapes and animations with the water, change the color of the water, or freeze it as long as there's nothing inside of it. You can have up to 2 effects in use at once. Fog Cloud creates a 20-foot radius sphere of dense fog within 120 feet of you, obscuring everything within. This lasts for 1 hour while you maintain the spell, or until a wind that is at least 10 miles per hour hits it. By adding spell slot levels, you can increase the size of the cloud. Cure Wounds heals with a touch, equaling 1d8 plus your wisdom modifier. Jump triples your jump distance for 1 minute. Long Strider adds 10 feet to your total movement for 1 hour. You get one more cantrip, have fun choosing. Level 2 monks gain unarmored movement. Now when not wearing armor, your speed begins to increase. You now have a walking speed of 40 feet. Ki grants you ki points that equal your monk level. These points are internal energy or maybe focus that you can spend to perform special moves. You regain all used points at the end of a 30-minute meditation. For what you can spend these points on, Flurry of Blows allows you to make 2 unarmed strikes with a single bonus action after taking the attack action by spending 1 ki point. Patient Defense turns dodge into a bonus action, causing attacks against you to be at disadvantage by spending 1 ki point. Step of the Wind turns dash or disengage and doubles your jump distance by spending 1 ki point. Heads up, with the new addition, all of that is about to change and it's gonna really improve it. Your character level 3 now, and you get an upgrade to Call of the Wave. You learn the spell Create or Destroy Water. This allows you to create up to 10 gallons of water, make it rain within a 30-foot cube, destroy up to 10 gallons of water, or destroy a fog that fits within a 30-foot cube. All these effects can be out to 30 feet from you. You can cast this spell without a spell slot once per short or long rest, or with a spell slot. Level 3 monks receive access to their subclass. 4 elements from the player's handbook is one I'm pretty sure I've never done, and it's about time I did. Discipline of the Elements gives you more options to spend your ki points on, and you can choose what disciplines you have. Right now you get 2 disciplines. For these disciplines, Elemental Attunement is one every 4 elements monk must take. Seriously, I don't want to take it, but they're making me take it. With this, you can only do narrative stuff, so I'll let you read it and learn all you can. Water Whip lashes out with a whip made of water, at creatures within 30 feet of you that you can see and forces a dex save for 2 ki points. If the creature fails, they take 3d10 bludgeoning damage and you can knock them prone or pull them up to 25 feet closer to you. You can add more damage by spending more ki points. Deflect Missile allows you to reduce damage you take from ranged weapon attacks with a reaction. This equals 1d10 plus your monk level plus dexterity modifier. If you reduce the damage to 0 and have an empty hand, you can spend 1 ki point to catch the projectile and throw it as a monk weapon attack. Level 4 monks earn our first ability score improvement, bump up dex for better attacks, damage, and AC. Slow Fall lets you reduce falling damage you take with a reaction by 5 times your monk level. Quickened Healing allows you to heal yourself by spending 2 ki points. This healing equals your martial arts dice plus your proficiency bonus. You've hit character level 5 and we have a few things to talk about. First, your proficiency bonus is now +3. Acid Splash now does 2d6 acid damage. And you gain your final upgrade to Call of the Wave. You gain the spell Water Walk. For 1 hour, up to 10 willing creatures can move across any liquid surface. You can also use this spell to raise a creature submerged in water up to 60 feet per round. Like before, you can cast this spell without a spell slot once per long rest. Level 5 monks now have extra attack. You can attack twice with a single attack action. Stunning Strike lets you stun enemies you hit. When you hit a creature, you can spend 1 ki point to force a con save. On a failure, the creature is stunned until the start of your next turn. A stunned creature can barely speak, can't move, can't take actions or reactions, automatically fails strength and dex saves, and finally, all attacks against them are at advantage. The DC for this will be based on your wisdom. Focused Aim lets you turn a miss into a hit by spending up to 3 ki points. This allows you to add +2 to the attack per point spent. Finally, your martial arts dice are now upgraded to D6s, or D8s if you're using the new edition. Level 6 monks gained Ki Empowered Strikes. Your unarmored strikes now deal magical damage, though this will become force damage next edition, which changes nothing, it's still good damage. For your new discipline, Shape the Flowing River lets you steal Sub-Zero's gimmick. For 1 ki point, you can now freeze water or melt ice within an area that is 30 feet on each side within 120 feet of you. You can also change this to shape the ice. Not really you, but water really isn't in 4 elements wheelhouse too much. That feels very unfair if you ask my opinion. Finally, your unarmored movement is now 45 feet. Level 2 Druids receive their subclass. Land, found in the player's handbook, is going to grant you more water power. First, you gain a new cantrip of your choice. You're good in my opinion, so take what you want. There's some really good ones in there. Natural Recovery lets you regain used spell slots. These spell slots must equal up to half your Druid level. You can only use this once per long rest. You also receive the feature Circle Spells. This will grant you free spells at certain level, chosen by what land you're connected to. Choose Coast for some needed spells later on. Sorry, we don't get it till next level. Wild Shape unleashes your animality, eventually. Kind of. I'll explain in a second. Using your bonus action, you can take the form of an animal that you know that is a CR quarter or lower and that has no flying or swimming speed. Guess what? Your first animality was an elephant for some reason. They never really thought those out. And that's a CR4. You'll never get to CR4 beasts. Your second animality is a huge puffer fish, which has a swimming speed. So no on that, but you'll be able to turn into fish later on. Sorry, can't have wins for every level. If you drop to 0 HP in your beast form, you will revert back to your normal form at your original HP going into beast. You can't cast spells or talk in this form, and you can change into a beast twice per short or long rest. If you don't like this, ignore it or just take Primal Companion. This lets you burn a use of Wild Shape to summon a familiar. Not used, so I'm not going to go into it. Remember, Druids are more than Wild Shape. You can just completely ignore this ability and it's fine. For your new spell, Purify food or drink creates a 10-foot sphere out to 10 feet from you. Every food and drink within the sphere is now poison and disease free. Level 3 Druids now have second level spells. For your Circle spell, Misty Step is a 30-foot teleportation that you make with a bonus action. I know I said this a lot, but what's with all the teleporting in Mortal Kombat? That being said, I do tend to spam teleporting for wins. Mirror Image creates 3 duplicates from the water in the air that surrounds you and follows your movements. For 1 minute, these duplicates can take hits for you. When you are targeted, you roll a d20 to determine if the duplicates are hit or you. The more duplicates you have, the harder it will be to hit you. The duplicates have an AC of 10 plus your dex modifier and will fall apart if they are hit. A creature that doesn't rely on its senses to see, like Blindsight or True Sight, can ignore the duplicates. For your new spell, Hold Person traps a humanoid within a watery hold. Forcing a wisdom save on a humanoid within 60 feet that you can see, they are paralyzed for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. At the end of each of its turns, the humanoid may attempt to end the spell by retaking the save. You gain your final cantrip here. Have fun choosing. You've reached character level 9. Raise your proficiency bonus again to +4. Level 4 Druids earn another ability score improvement. Raise your wisdom for more spells and a better spell DC. For your new spells, Pass Without a Trace adds +10 to your stealth and the stealth of anyone of your choice that was within 30 feet of you for 1 hour while you maintain this spell. This spell also allows you to avoid leaving footprints or disturbed anything as you move. Protection from poison grants one willing creature you touch, including yourself, advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, resistance to poison damage, and it will neutralize a poison effect on the target. Only one poison effect though. This lasts for 1 hour. Guess what? You can now become any animal with a swimming speed and can be a beast of CR half or lower, so your animality works, though it sucks. Level 5 Druids gain 3rd level spells. For your Circle spells, Water Breathing lets you grant the ability to breathe underwater for 24 hours on up to 10 willing creatures. You also get Water Walk, but you already have that one from your lineage. For your normal spell, Wall of Water lets you create a massive wall of water. This wall can be up to 30 feet long, 10 feet high, and 1 foot thick. Or a circle that has a 20-foot diameter, it's 20 feet high, and 1 foot thick. This lasts for 10 minutes while you maintain the spell, and can be out to 60 feet from you. The wall is difficult terrain. Any ranged weapon being fired through the wall has disadvantage on the attack roll. Fire damage that passes through the wall is halved, and cold damage that passes through the wall automatically freezes that section of the wall that it passed through, granting it an AC of 5 with 15 hit points. Your character level 11, Acid Splash, now does 3d6 acid damage. Level 6 Land Druids receive Land Stride. You can now move through non-magical difficult terrain with no extra movement, and non-magical plants do not slow you down or cause you damage. You also have advantage against magically created or controlled plants that try to impede your movement. For your new spell, Tidal Wave unleashes your power. You create a 30-foot long, 10-foot wide, 10-foot tall wave of water out to 120 feet from you. Each creature within the wave must make a dex save or take 4d8 bludgeoning damage and be knocked prone. The water then spreads out in all directions within 30 feet of its original area. This doesn't really do much except maybe put out fires and just make everything wet. Level 7 Druids now have 4th level spells. For your circle spells, Control Water is exactly what it says. For 10 minutes, while you maintain the spell, you control any freestanding water that can fit within a cube that is up to 100 feet on each side, out to 300 feet from you. While the spell is active, you can use your action each turn to cause an effect. These effects include parting the water and creating a path, raising the water level by 20 feet, creating a 20-foot tall wave, redirecting the flow of water, or creating a whirlpool that is up to 50 feet wide at the top, 20 feet tall, and 5 feet at the bottom. A creature can be sucked into the vortex if they fail an athletics check. Creatures within the vortex must make a strength save or take 2d8 bludgeoning damage and become trapped within the vortex, taking another 2d8 bludgeoning damage each turn unless they make an athletics check at disadvantage to escape. Freedom of movement allows you to touch a willing creature, including yourself, and grant them improvements to their movement. For the next hour, they can escape from non-magical shackles by costing 5 feet of their movement, and being underwater doesn't impose penalties to their movement or attacks. For your normal spell, Conjure Minor Elemental summons minor elemental spirits to fight with you. When you cast this spell, you can choose how many elements you summon. You can summon 1 of CR 2 or lower, 2 of CR 1 or lower, 4 of CR half or lower, or 8 of CR quarter or lower. The elementals will obey your verbal commands at all times. This lasts for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. You hit character level 13, bringing your proficiency bonus up to +5. Level 8 Druids earn another ability score improvement, Cap Off Dex. Your wild shape can now be any beast of CR 1 or lower, including ones that can fly, so who cares? For your new spell, Water Sphere traps your enemies within a ball of water. You create a 5-foot radius sphere of water out to 90 feet from you for 1 minute while you maintain the spell. This sphere floats no more than 10 feet off the ground at all times. Any creature within the sphere's space must make a strength saving throw. If they fail and they are a size large or smaller, they are trapped within and restrained. A restrained creature has its speed reduced to 0, cannot benefit from effects that boost its speed. All of its attacks are at disadvantage, all attacks against them are at advantage, and they automatically fail dex saves. With an action, you can move the sphere up to 30 feet in a straight line. The sphere can hold up to 4 medium or smaller creatures, or a size large creature. Huge or larger automatically succeed on the saving throw and cannot be trapped. If the sphere goes over a drop, it descends to be 10 feet above the ground slowly. At the end of each of its turns, a restrained creature can attempt to retake the save. At the end of the spell, the creature falls prone as the sphere falls and water swashes out to 30 feet in all directions, once more just putting out fires and making everything wet. Level 9 Druids gain 5th level spells. For your circle spells, Conjure Elemental summons an elemental spirit of CR 5 or lower. The elemental is friendly to you and obeys your commands. You must maintain the spell for up to 1 hour or the elemental will become hostile to you. Scrying allows you to peer into a font of water and spy on a creature. Choosing any creature you know of, you can force a wisdom save. Their roll is modified depending on how well you know them, but they will automatically pass if they know you are casting it. You can maintain this spell for up to 10 minutes. For your new spell, Maelstrom summons rapid water that is 5 feet deep and has a 30-foot radius out to 120 feet from you. For 1 minute while you maintain this spell, the area is difficult terrain, and any creature that starts its turn within must make a strength save or take 6d6 bludgeoning damage and be pulled 10 feet towards the center. Level 7 monks receive Evasion. Your dex saves are now improved. You now take no damage on a successful save and half damage on a failure. Stillness of Mind allows you to end one effect on yourself that is causing you to be charmed or frightened with an action. Level 8 monks earn our final ability score improvement, Cap Off Wisdom. This means you get your final Druid spell. For your spell, Cold Lightning summons a storm cloud out to 120 feet from you for 10 minutes while you maintain this spell. This cloud is a 10-foot tall cylinder and has a 60-foot radius. When you cast this spell, a lightning bolt strikes a point you can see under the cloud. Every creature within 5 feet of that point must make a dex save or take 3d10 lightning damage. While this spell is active on each of your turns, you can use your action to cause another lightning strike. If you cast this spell outside while there are stormy conditions, you instead take control of that storm and the lightning damage is increased to 4d10. But the area of the storm you control is still a 60-foot radius. If you cast this spell in an area that the cloud cannot fit in, the spell automatically fails. You've reached character level 17, max out your proficiency bonus at +6. Acid Splash now does 4d6 damage. Level 9 monks gain an improvement to their unarmored movement. You can now run across liquids and up vertical surfaces. You cannot stand on these, so you will fall through if you stop. Level 10 monks receive Purity of Body. You are now immune to all diseases and poisons. Your total movement when not wearing armor is now 50 feet. Our final level is level 11 monk, and you get your final elemental discipline. Misstance lets you spend 4 key points to cast the spell Gaseous Form on yourself. This lets you turn yourself into a cloud of mist for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. While active, your speed is reduced to 0, but you gain a flying speed up to 10 feet. You can also enter another creature's space. You have resistance to non-magical damage. You have advantage on strength, dex, and con saves, and you can move through small holes and even cracks. While you are in this form, you cannot speak, cast spells, attack, or interact with anything. Finally, to finish all of this out, your martial arts dice are now a D8, though this will become a D10 in the new edition. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 13, Dex 20, Con 12, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 20, Charisma 8. Your total levels are Monk 11, Druid 9. Let's dive in. You really are a force of nature. You can create water, destroy it, flood areas, create whirlpools, trap enemies in water, block attacks with water, and summon tidal waves. You can also summon multiple water elementals to fight alongside of you. In combat, you are no pushover. Your attacks are 1d8 plus 5 magical damage. You can attack up to 4 times and stun your enemies. You also have ranged attacks, with your most basic dealing 4d6 acid damage. Finally, you're pretty decent in all other areas. Your total walking and swimming speed is 50 feet. You can add 10 feet to this, dash as a bonus action, make attacks against you be at a disadvantage, move across any surface. Your stealth can be plus 21. You can summon a fog cloud to hide yourself, turn into mist, teleport. You have a possible jump distance of 78 feet, and you have an AC of 20. Downside. Firstly, your total health taking the average is just over 120. Not bad, but not great. Thankfully, you can make attacks against you at disadvantage and your AC is 20, so that will help. Biggest problem is concentration spells. You have a lot of them, which is actually normal for spellcasters. Finally, you have some resource management to keep track of with 11 key points and different level spell slots. All honesty though, I don't see really any problems with this. Call forth the water to fight for you and destroy your enemies, but be careful on who you trust. They may lead you down a path that you're not ready to take. Thank you for joining me today. I'd like to give a special shout out to my awesome Artificer tier. Thank you, John Martin, Jonathan Haynes, Christopher R. Hunter, and Java Squirrel. You are all awesome. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify, and make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.